thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite albums of all time. And I have all of the albums on vinyl, so I can show them to you and talk about them a little bit. So yeah, I guess with all that said, let's just get right into the video. So I'm gonna go in descending order. So we'll start with number 5. Number 5, which is The Stranger by Billy Joel. I don't know who this is. I got this at a resale place, so this was the person who owned it before me. Shout out to you. This album came out in 1977. I am a big Billy Joel fan. I also really like Innocent Man and Glass Houses. Those are great albums, but nothing beats The Stranger. Nothing beats The Stranger. The Stranger is in like my top 10 favorite songs ever. That song is incredible. I would say from this album, my top 3 songs are The Stranger, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, and Vienna. Yeah, The Stranger's my number 1. The entire track listing is Moving Out, Anthony's song, The Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Vienna, Only the Good Die Young, She's Always a Woman, Get It Right the First Time, and Everybody Has a Dream. And this song, all of these albums coming up, they are all no skips. Like, I will not skip a single song on the album. Like, obviously I can't skip when I'm listening to the vinyl, but even if I'm like listening to it on my phone, I will not skip a single song, because it's just, they're just all so amazing. Like on this album, they're all just so good. And I guess it's quite nice that my favorite albums ever are no skips. That's how it should be. That the albums you love the most do not have a single skippable song on them. I know people really like Piano Man, but I think The Stranger is by far Billy Joel's best record. It's just incredible. And I'm a big Billy Joel fan, so I mean, I love Piano Man, but this album, it's the best. I just realized I didn't show the back. There's Billy. Number 4 on my ranking is Folklore by Taylor Swift. Now, this one is a little out of place, I feel like, with the other 4, because it's a very recent album. But like I said, it's one of those albums that I can never skip a single song. It also, after I watched the Long Pond Sessions on Disney Plus, the documentary, I just fell even more in love with this album. It's 100% my number 1 Taylor Swift album, and I knew that, but it's recently just cemented its status as one of my favorite records ever. It's just the amount of emotion put into this record is just so incredible to me, especially after watching the Long Pond Sessions and see what she had to say about each song. It's just incredibly beautiful, and I just admire her so much for her songwriting skills, and I think Folklore has her best songwriting talents on it. Just personally, my 3 favorite songs on it are This Is Me Trying, which is my favorite Taylor Swift song ever. So yeah, This Is Me Trying, Mirror Ball, and I Last Great American Dynasty. But this is me trying in Mirror Ball 100%, like it's literally my life. And another thing that's super special about this record is how much I can relate to most of the songs on it. I mean, I guess I can't relate to illicit affairs because I've never had an affair. I can't relate to some of them, but you know, most of them I can. And now that I think about it, I think instead of Last Great American Dynasty, probably Epiphany. Epiphany, that song is really good. This album came out in 2020. And I'm also a big fan of every collab Taylor has with Jack Antonoff and Aaron Dessner. I just think they're really cool people, and they make really good music, especially with Taylor. When they make music together, it's just magic. This album is a double LP because it's the deluxe edition, and it has really pretty photos of Taylor on the inside. My third favorite album of all time is the Beatles' White Album. This album, to me, is just so incredibly iconic. I am mesmerized by everything that was put onto this album, and it's just an absolutely incredible piece of, it's just everything, like it's so absolutely incredible. I think it's one of just the most, like I'm not the biggest fan of Sgt. Pepper's, but I understand its history and how important it is to the history of music. But in my opinion, nothing is better than the White Album, and I think it plays a big role in history. I mean, obviously it plays a big role in the Manson trials, but that's not what I mean. In terms of music, I think it plays a big role in that kind of history. It's also a double LP, and this is what the inside looks like. It has the track listing, and my top 3 songs from this album are Happiness is a Warm Gun, which is my favorite Beatles song. So yeah, Happiness is a Warm Gun. Probably, oh, then While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I feel like that's a pretty popular one. And then probably, this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I know Don't Pass Me By is a popular song, but it being one of my favorite tracks on here is probably not a popular opinion, but that is my favorite Ringo song. I like Octopus's Garden and everything, but Don't Pass Me By is where it's at. That's such a good song. It's an incredible song. And the cover being so simple is just so cool. And also this version, I got this from my brother, but it has like colorized photo cards of each of them. Colorized photo cards. Oh my gosh. I had a hard time saying that apparently. But yeah, this album is just absolutely incredible, and once again, a no skip. 100% no skips. And you can see the Beatles on here is like a perforated edge. I love you can see my microphone and everything. I'm trying to, let me see, yeah. See, you can see that, I think. My second favorite album of all time first runner-up is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. This album is just so iconic in so many ways. This is the album that Paul McCartney said inspired Sgt. Pepper's. This is just like one of the most incredible pieces of music history, like ever. This album is so important to the history of music. It's so important to me, personally. So important to me. This album is just, it warms my heart, and I love it. Especially, I'm a very big fan of the Beach Boys, and just learning about how this album was created and Brian Wilson's history as a person and the history with the brothers and everybody and how it all came to a head kind of in this album. I feel like it's just a super incredible thing to happen. My top 3 songs off the album are I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, Sloop John B, and That's Not, and God Only Knows. Sorry, I almost forgot God Only Knows. Yeah, I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, Sloop John B, and God Only Knows. But I also really like That's Not Me and Caroline No. Yeah, now that we're getting to like these last 2 or 3 albums, it's so hard to pick what songs are my favorite, because I just like all of them. This album is just absolutely incredible, and I just remember the first time I heard it, it was like the entire world had changed. And I don't know if that's how a lot of people feel about this album. I mean, they probably do. It's very it's very popular and it has a very rich history, but the first time I heard it, I was thinking about it for like weeks, and I just love it so much. And the fact that Brian Wilson produced the album is just crazy with how much he was going through at this time. If you haven't seen the movie Love and Mercy, I would highly recommend it. There's a lot to do with this album in it, so yeah. And now, my number 1 favorite. I don't think this is a very, this is probably not a lot of people's number 1s, but it's my number 1. And that's If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears by the Mamas and the Papas. Now, if you've been on my channel for a little bit, or a while, I guess, you would probably know that the Mamas and the Papas are my favorite band of all time. I'm like musical artist even. I'm just obsessed with them. I can name any Mamas and the Papas song within 3 seconds of the opening, maybe even 1 second. I've done it before. But yes, this album is their first album. But I just can't get over how incredible this album is. And I will say it, this album kind of changed my life in a way. When I was in high school, I was really insecure, and I had a lot of pent up feelings of like not feeling worth it and just all kinds of insecurities. But when I first started dressing in 1960s fashion and listening to 1960s music, it was a moment that made me realize that I could be more confident and I had the ability to not have as much insecurity and just feel happy being me. this album was like the first thing that ever made me believe that I could be who I wanted to be and enjoy the things I enjoy, and that's why it will forever be cemented in my mind as the most important album ever created. And my favorite songs on here are Monday Monday, forever a favorite. Monday Monday, then I think Spanish Harlem, and then this is so hard. Maybe Go Where You Wanna Go. Go Where You Wanna Go. But Monday Monday for sure. Monday Monday is, in my opinion, one of the best songs ever written. But I'm slightly biased. And this one's quite funny because it's the version with the toilet on it. And the reason that's so funny is because this was the first version released with the toilet. This isn't a vintage copy, but they made it with the toilet on it. But after a while, they were worried that people weren't buying the album because the toilet was too vulgar. So for a couple of them, there was just like a square added here to cover the toilet with the track listing on it. So it's very special. Okay, cool cats. Okay, cool cats. Okay, cool cats. That is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about my top 5 favorite albums of all time. As always, I have been Laurel Canyon ASMR. If you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, you don't have to, but it's always very much appreciated by me. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.